Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Watch Me Wednesday. Did you miss me last week? Or did you not even notice I wasn't here? I have to say that I missed out last Wednesday's Watch Me Wednesday. However, it did seem that Facebook had a little bit of a disaster going on last Wednesday, and in fact lots of people couldn't post to Facebook at all, or Instagram and all sorts of things. And so actually if I'd have probably tried to get on, I may not have succeeded anyway by the looks of things. But so my apologies that I wasn't here last week. I was poorly again. Now, those of you who know me, I don't do ill. I'm not a very ill person at all. But it seems this year is deciding to be my year of being ill. So not only was I ill for 3 weeks, sort of January, February time, my son, and he's not a school child, he's a 20-year-old son, who decided to bring home a sickness bug and share it around the household. So I was still feeling a little delicate last Wednesday and just didn't know if I could get through it or not. So, but I'm here, I'm back again this Wednesday, and as I say, I should be here every Wednesday depending on illness and whether I'm going to be ill every month or so. But I'm really hoping not. The warmer weather is here and it's all good. So today, I've been doing these Facebook Lives for a few weeks now, and I get a little bit carried away, and I kind of sit there and think that I need to show you lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. When actually some people don't want to watch a Facebook Live for an hour and a half, which it can get to if we are showing lots of things. So I've kind of had a thought and kind of thought how I could do this. And so I'm going to try really hard, this is my plan, that actually what I'm going to do is I am going to update my blog as I do it Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Monday will be a project with a video, Wednesday will be a project with this Facebook Live video, and Friday will also be a project with a video, but just a plain YouTube video. As well, rather than a Facebook Live. So I get a bit of both worlds. So if you're watching me on Facebook Live, then I get a little bit of interaction, but I know that not everybody wants all the chit chat as well, so I'm going to start doing some more YouTube videos as well. That's the plan, Stan. So let's do our official welcome to the show. Here we are. It's Wednesday the 20th of March 2019. I cannot believe that we are here already. Hi Rebecca. Back to you. But yes, where is this year going? I don't know. But anyway, so let's have a little go over some of the bits that you need to know. I'm intending on this being shorter, so I'm only here to show you one project today, because I know I have been getting on with 3s and 4s and things like that, and it's just a little bit crazy. So as I say, I'm going to spread them out throughout the week now. Otherwise I'm under too much pressure with lots of other things going on. I think it will work that way, but that's what I'm going to give a go anyway. So what have we got to go through? So 2 weeks ago I said that if you left a message left a comment on that Facebook Live, that I would pick a winner. And the same applies for this. So if you're watching this, then give me a little comment like Rebecca just did, or even if you're watching replay and just want to write watching replay, you can do that. So leave a comment, and well, let's do last week's first. So I have sent a message to, oh, ran the wrong way again, Linda Brown. So Linda Brown left a comment on the last video, and I said that I was going to send these butterfly elements to the winner. So Linda Brown, if you've seen my message, or if you haven't seen my message but you see this, please PM me your address and I'll get those in the post to you. But what are we playing for this week? So this week I'm going to share a few tips about colouring. So whilst I'm not using them, this is a medium to colour, if I can find them, they're hidden here. I'm going to be giving away some watercolour pencils, but these aren't any old watercolour pencils. So we have 1 pack of watercolour pencils that are in our current annual catalogue. However, these aren't in there. These were a limited edition, and there's colours in here that weren't or aren't in the set that was in the catalogue. So you have a cherry cobbler, flirty flamingo, Cajun craze, crushed curry, granny apple green, garden green, coastal cabana, balmy blue, night of navy and gorgeous grape. Look at those. Love those colours. So if you've got the ones in the catalogue as it is, then these are another edition for you. So as I say, they were a limited edition, and you can't buy them anymore. So I thought I'd give away a pack of those. So whilst I'm, not colouring with watercolour pencils this week, I'm actually going to be using our alcoholic markers, the Stampin' Blends. I just thought they were a good thing to give away, because the same principles of what I'm going to cover apply to any kind of colouring techniques. And I have to say, here and now, I can't colour to save my life. I said it. I stamp because I can't draw. I have a creative flair, but I'm not very good at drawing and colouring, and I know some people are. So I thought I'd put together this little video of some tips that I'd picked up of what to colour and how to colour. But let's go over a few things as well. So I've done last week's giveaway, and so that's this week's giveaway. So leave me a comment. Sarah Broderick, there we go. Looking forward to this, watching for the first time. Well, welcome, Sarah. You'll be in the draw to win the watercolour pencils. So I just realised I haven't got something out. I'm so disordered. I always forget something. If anyone ever comes to my classes, I always forget something. Now, where are they? Hold on. They've got to be somewhere really safe. So safe, I can't find them. Oh my goodness me, what is the matter with me? Oh. No, I could be here all day. So, I'll just tell you about it anyway. So you will have seen, if you look on my blog, so my website is www.natalieoshea.co.uk, and I should probably introduce myself. So for those that are new, like Sarah, Rebecca says she's nearly worn her set of pencils out, and another Sarah says that she loves those colours. She's got those pencils, but she'd love another set. Why not? You can't have too many pencils. And the watercolour pencils are so soft, they blend so easily, they are lovely. But anyway, so my name is Natalie O'Shea. If you haven't seen me before, and I have been crafting for 25 years. I know, I started when I was 1. No, I didn't. I started when I was 22-ish. So, yeah, I've done lots of things, but for the last nearly 11 years now, I have fallen in love with Stampin' Up products. So Stampin' Up products, you can't go into Hobbycraft and buy them. You have to buy them from a Stampin' Up demonstrator. So like Avon, you know, you can't buy Avon, you can't walk into Boots and buy Avon, then you have to get Stampin' Up from a rep too. So a demonstrator, as we're called. And that's me. So here I am. Ta-da! And you can see everything that we sell on that link there, www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net. And I'm going to show you that in a second. In fact, let me just get rid of that. And just show you some things, just go through the news, give you a couple of updates. And then we'll get into some crafting, because I don't want to keep you here all day. Well, I don't know, I could sit here and talk to you all day. Hi Mary, first time watching as well. So lots of new people, hello. But let's get rid of that. So let's just keep you up on the news. So for 2 weeks, as I say, website is www.natalieoshea.co.uk, and on there I have a blog, which /blog will take you to my blog, and I've been updating that with lots of things. So there are other projects on there as well. There's the latest news. I shared lots of things about what it's like to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator, just in case you wanted to learn how to make money crafting and come and join the fun that we have. But yeah, so we are still in celebration. So I've been saying that every week, because celebration is a promotion that runs from January to the end of March. So we have less than 2 weeks to go now. But what I thought I'd do is I will take you, right, so hopefully you can see my screen here now. So this is my online shop. So when you go to, hold on, let's put that over there. When you go to www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net, you come to here. And then you just click, so you can either go straight to the catalogues and you can flick through the catalogues, or if you shop now, it will take you through to here. And you'll see my name and my contact details there, so if you need to get hold of me for anything, that's how you can contact me. I went through setting up an account, so you can create an account to buy, but you can shop online anytime you like. But I wanted to go over, so celebration. So say always a couple of bits to celebration, and let's go with that. So the first thing is, if you're buying products from the catalogues, the clearance rack, anything like that, and you spend £45 or more, then you are entitled to, let's click on it, shall we, celebration, have a look and get free product. So I do some things for my customers anyway. If you use an online host code that you'll find on my website and on every blog post and things, then you get freebies from me, and they can be anything from stamp sets to reels of ribbon, embellishments, all sorts of things. I also have a customer loyalty program as well, so every time you spend £40 you get a point with me, collect 10 points, and you can go on a £40 shopping spree with me as well. They are all the time, so I do those all the time. They have no time scale on them or anything like that. But Celebration is a Stampin' Up promotion, and so yes, so you've got a free level 1 product. So these are free with a €60 if you are in Europe, or a £45 spend. And if we, oh hello, let's not do that. Let's just click them. You gonna let me go in? There we go. So these are all the items that are free. So if you didn't see my video a couple of weeks ago, I loved this set, and I have to say, probably like you're sitting there going, it's all right. But go back and look at my black, white and grey cards. They have gone a little bit viral. It's a little bit scary. But if you're watching on YouTube, or you're on my YouTube channel, then you can see it there. The cockerel has been very popular. Cupcakes extremely popular. The butterfly paper's extremely popular. There's those butterfly elements that I was giving away to Linda. You've got a By the Bay, which is a scenic stamp set. The cockerel again, because you've got it in French, German and English. The lovely country floral embossing folder, which again I did a video not 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. So again, just check that out on my YouTube channel, or the videos on Facebook if you're there. The frogs, the lovely frogs, although that's the French and German set. You've got laser cut paper, foil sheets, cupcakes and that again, a lovely lattice stamp set. Mini pizza boxes are now on there as recently added. The Painted Seasons Designer Series paper. Love, 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 love. Did another video using that, so check that out. So that is now in as an individual item, whereas it was together with a bundle. Part of my story stamp set, we've got 2 lots of pearlised doilies now in there, Petal Promenade pattern paper, the Precious Parcel Kit, 2 of the Velvet Rich Raspberry ribbon, another embossing folder, the Scattered Sequins, Share What You Love embellishment kit, there's the frogs, so hoppy together, and I think there's the other languages there. So yeah, any of those for free when you spend £45. But if you spend £90 or €120, then look what we've got here. So there's that Painted Seasons paper, but it's bundled with a coordinating stamp set. You have the Tea Time Framelit dies, which goes with the teapot and teacup set that's in the Spring Summer catalogue, and the Lasting Lily photopolymer stamp set there as well. And you've got some project ideas there as well. So if you have a look in there, they've got some samples of things you could make with some of the things that are available. It shows the ribbon there, that's actually out of stock now. And Celebration Coordination is also another thing that is only available until the end of March. So these were released on the 1st of March, and things have gone. So if you saw the cupcake dies that went with the cupcake celebration set, they've gone. If you saw the frog dies that went with the frog set, they have gone. How much longer these are going to be available? Will they last till the 31st of March? I don't know. I can't promise. But you've got a die set that goes with the Painted Seasons stamp set there. You've also got a set that goes with the Lily set. You've got a More Than Words photopolymer stamp set, which I loved. And again, I used that the same week that I used the Country Floral embossing folder. And you've got a great punch here as well. It's called a Story Label Punch. It fits in the, oh my goodness me, what was it called? Oh, my mind's gone blank, hold on. Celebration Level 1 was part of my story. So all those there fit into that into that punch, but lots of sentiments fit into that punch. It's a good, sturdy, all-round, very useful punch. So they're all free, but only if you place an order before the end of March. As soon as March comes, they will be gone. Gone, gone, gone. But there we go. But if you've not seen the site before, click on Stampin' Up, it will take you back to the main page. And you can do all sorts of things. You can look at the spring summer catalogue, you can look at the clearance rack for things that are on offer, you can shop by sweets, by occasions. If you're looking for a birthday or Christmas stuff, it will bring it up like that. If you're looking for something pink and purple, then you can shop by colour, or you can obviously shop as all the things down there. So if you're looking for punches, they're there, tools, they're there, and more. And yes, lots of things there that you can have a look at as well. So we're going to leave that there. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the stamp. Well, I could actually just show you the stamp set, but I'm going to show you how. If I Google, it's not Google, it's search the website. This beautiful set here is what I'm going to be using today. Don't you just love it? I love it. I love it. So yeah, who takes this back to Beatrix Potter? Who used to read the books? Give me a thumbs up if you used to read the Beatrix Potter books. Or in fact, if you still read them now, perhaps you've got children or grandchildren, or maybe you're a babysitter, or anything like that, then give me a thumbs up if you have ever read any of those. So super cute, super cute. And in fact, I've used this set for next month's online class. So what I was looking for earlier was this month's online class, which I've done dogs and cats. I'll put the link under this video once I've finished, and you can have a look at the details there, because in fact the kits for that finish this Sunday. So if you were looking for the kits with a dogs or the cats kit, then they will close this Sunday, and video links and all that will be going out on Monday. But that's it. So let's have a look. I'm going to bring you back to me for a moment. Oh, I keep doing that, don't I? It's that whole stick my finger in front of the camera. Get rid of my laptop. Just don't need that anymore. And there we go. Let's move all that out of the way. So, in fact, I've just realised we need lights. Well, that's quite good today. It's not too dark. I'm just wondering how dark that is. That looks a little bit dark. Might need to bring some lights in here. We're getting a little bit brighter. Bear with me. Should have done all this earlier. Didn't even think about lights, because it's actually quite nice here today. So, okay. Let's go down there. There we go. Look at him. How cute is he? I love him. I've fallen in love with this set. And super cute. And as I say, I can't colour. Don't tell anyone, but I can't colour. I'm really rubbish. I'm surrounded by so many people who are so clever at colouring. And I'm not one of them. So if you ever see most of the things I do, if I have to colour something, it's all one colour. I can colour something solid, that's no problem at all. So if I was colouring this oval and it all had to be one colour, no problem. But when it comes to shading and things, I'm just like, oh, it scares me. So I thought I would give you a few tips, and then I'm going to show you how I made this card and go through that in a little while. But I've got some scrap paper here, or scrap card. And so what I firstly wanted to kind of show you was our stamping blends. So, as they are here, you can see. So these are the Balmy Blue. And you get a light or dark. You can buy them individually, or you can buy them as a set together. Now they have a thin line and a thick line, and a bullet nib and a brush nib. So that's what that means. So if you want to, if you don't look at that, you know you're always going to take off the wrong end. If you want the bullet end, you'll always take off the brush end first, if you're anything like me. So that's the tip there, and in fact it's on both sides there as well. And it's really up to you how you want to use them. But what I've found is, so in fact I might choose, they're the Balmy Blue ones, but you might see better actually if I use the Crumb Cakes. It's not a very pretty colour, but it's what I've got here. So you can see I've got a light and a dark. So my top tips that I've found so far are, I do like to use the brush end quite a lot, and so I always use that first. Now what you find with alcohol markers, which is what you don't necessarily find with water-based markers, so our normal water-based markers can be quite streaky, they'll leave the streak marks, but as that dries, any overlapping that you can see there is going to dry away. So always light first. Then, if you want to do any shading, or in fact if you're shading another colour, then, let's go that again. So then I might go, oh no, that's bullet end. See, look, I'm not looking, am I? Look at the ends, Nat. So I might go darker there. And obviously you'd be far more conscientious of doing this. So it's not very well blended, is it? There's a big stark line, and I might like it a little bit more blended, as the name suggests. So I go back to my light and I go over, and I'm trying to flood that area with the alcohol. It does really smell as well. So if you're very sensitive to smells, you might get high. That might be something you quite enjoy. Who knows? Mine is not to question why. Who sniffs the stays on ink pads? Oh dear, it's a whole nother story. But as we dry, now you can see it's come through on the back. It's not a problem. It's come through on the pattern on the grid paper. It's not a problem. That's what I use it for. And as that dries, you're going to see that it blends. I'm going to put that to one side and show you that once it's all dried, and you'll see it blended. So the thing with colouring anything, and this is like the most thing to remember. If there's one thing you remember out of all of this, then remember this. So if I said to you oil and water, so you know when you have water and you put oil in it, the oil all separates and stays there. That's what you want with your colouring implements. So when you stamp an image, now let's have, got my little Peter Rabbit there. So let's start again. So you don't want to stamp with an alcohol-based ink pad and then colour with alcohol-based markers. And you don't want to stamp with a water-based ink pad and then colour with water-based colours, or marker pens in our case. So this isn't an alcohol-based ink pad. A StazOn ink pad. A StazOn is an alcohol-based ink pad. So if I had a black StazOn, I wouldn't be able to colour with alcohol marker pens, because what happens is, there we go, I didn't plan on doing him straight, I've just stamped him as an example. Because what happens is that if I used water-based now, it would start picking up some of the black, and as I go round and sort of start colouring and colouring and colouring, that black would start bleeding in, whereas because this isn't an alcohol-based ink pad, I'm good to go with my alcohol markers because they don't mix. So again, if I'd used a black StazOn, then as I colour with the alcohol, it's going to start, the black StazOn and the alcohol from the black StazOn pad is all going to mix in with the stamped image. And we don't want that. So we want them to repel. So think water-based ink pad with alcohol markers, or alcohol ink pad if you're using water-based markers. And you do need to know that. So if you're sitting there kind of going, well, I don't know what they are, they're just colouring pens I've got, then you will need to do a little bit of investigation and just find out what the differences are. In fact, let me go and get quickly. Over here. Let's just use a blue. So if you are a Stampin' Up fan, then I say these stamping blends are alcohol based, but these Stampin' Right markers are water based. These use exactly the same inks in here as we use in our ink pads. So again, if I was to stamp with one of our normal Stampin' Up ink pads and try and colour with these pens, I might be lucky, and if you're really delicate and you don't go over it too much, you might get away with it. But generally, if you're going to stamp and colour straight away and you are going to go touch the sort of outside lines, it will smudge, it will bleed, it will mix all together. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's number one top tip, is always use opposites when it comes to stamping and colouring. So you see it's still drying there. You can see it's blended a lot better. So the other thing, so have you ever been there when they're sitting there going, well, imagine the sun's up here and it's coming down there, where would the shadow be? And Anyone like me? Do that? Give me a heart. Throw me a heart if you are that person too, like me, that just goes, I don't know. And then you always end up doing it wrong. You think, well, the sun's here, but then all of a sudden there's shading there and there's shading there, and oh my goodness me. It does all get me a little bit like under pressure, too much under pressure. So I just kind of go with a little bit of logic here. So, light first. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to colour his ears. So this is a dark petal pink. And I'm just going to colour his ears. And again, you can use either end, it's entirely up to you. I find the point, I can be quite specific using that point, so I didn't need the bullet end. And so, I'm going to colour all that I need. Oh, in fact, I might, see. Sometimes when you sit there and go, oh, it's a little bit, I can't be quite as precise as I want to be. Then change to the bullet end. And so, oh, and I love a squeak. We do squeak when we're going. Can you see this all right? Hopefully you can. So, just colouring all one colour, because I want my Peter Rabbit to be, this is a light crumb cake. And I can go in there because that's his hands, but his jacket's going to be a different colour. And in fact his whole body. Oh, I've lost my lid. Hang on. Now the other thing is, oh, I've lost my lid. The other thing with alcohol markers, well, without ink pads and marker pens, you can leave the lids off and leave the ink pads open quite a long time. Alcohol really evaporates quickly in the open air, so anytime you're not using your blends, you really want to have the lid on, because they will evaporate. So don't leave your lids off. Now you know I'm not going to do this perfectly, don't you? Because you're watching me. And I feel under pressure. Because as I say, I am no artist whatsoever. I can stay in lines. And as I say, normally this is what I'd do. I'd do one colour and he's all good to go. But, so I kind of sit there and think now, right, where do I want, if the sun was here, so let's say that's the sun and it was coming down there, I kind of don't do that because theoretically, if the sun was here and it was coming down here, then shading would be all this side. But I'm kind of going to go sun up there. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. You can have the sun wherever you want to. But I think he'd have a little bit of dark at the bottom of his ears and the top of his head. Then I think he'd have a little bit under his chin, there. Then his jacket, there'd be a little bit under his jacket. But in actual fact, what I want to do is I'm going to two-tone him. And I think that his feet and the bottom of his body there and all that there, I think that's going to be dark. So that doesn't look great, does it? Doesn't look great. Can you see that? So we need to blend. So I've done light, I've done dark, now I'm going back in, and again it's up to you whether you use whichever end, but you want to flood, so you're going over the colour and it will get wet, but you just want to blend, 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 and so up there, so you're in effect re-wetting, because it kind of dries instantly, so you're kind of re-wetting that area. Don't worry, you can go all over him again. And say, it dries pretty quickly, so you'll be able to see any mistakes in a while. So I tend to do circles, and again, flood, 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 and leave them to dry. And again, I just want to do this bit here. So I'm not going to blend these bits here, but just that bit there. I want it to look not quite so dark, and just blend it there. Once that dries, so let's go on with the jacket and wait for that to dry. Do some little gold buttons. Oh, and missed that bit. Hand as well, I think under by his sleeves. And even the top that's resting under his chin might be a little bit darker. So let's go back in. Let's Just go light, and again, just flare, go over and over and over and over. Over. And you see the harsh lines kind of vanish, really. So again, exactly the same with the jacket. So I'm gonna, this is a very light blue. But don't worry about being too perfect. You can go over, because it's a lighter colour. If you went over the brown, it wouldn't be a big deal. You wouldn't really see it. Whee. And so it's up to you. You could always do dark colours to light, or you could do light to dark. Doesn't really matter. So there we go. And you could leave that like that, and he looks very cute, I think, like that. But again, you know, let's do a bit of shading, because we can and because we are. So I'm thinking again, under his chin, a little bit darker. Ooh. Is it a little bit darker under here? And the bottom of there? Because I'm thinking if the sun's there, then it's going to be shadows underneath face, elbows, that sort of thing. And again, just go over it. So in fact, I'm going to use, I prefer the brush end when I'm doing this last bit. Just going over it. And just bringing it. And so it just mixes, because that alcohol from that light over that dark, it just brings that back out again. So this is the light, and we'll wait for that to dry. But can you see, if I bring that up, where's the tweezers? So that shading that I did there, you can see it, it's still there, but it's much more blended than it was. I want the stark lines there, but not round there. And that's kind of as complicated as I go. I don't go any more complicated than that. But you could sit there and go, oh no, I've gone outside the line. That's annoying. Well, you've got a couple of choices. So number one choice is cut him out. Then it doesn't matter. But if you're doing it on something you're like, oh, then we do have what we call this colour lifter. So it's not white, it's just the blend solution without a colour. And what you'll find you can do is, again, by flooding the area, so getting some of that colour on there, you can almost push the colour back. Can you see it vanishing? Now you are flooding, so you are risking that brown coming down, so be careful. You don't really want to go over that black line. Look, it's a miracle. I mean, it's still wet, and you can see it there, it's see-through, because it's been flooded with that alcohol. So look at the back, so you can see the colour come through. Look, it's quite cute. I feel like the watercolour look. But there you go, look, that line has gone, and that bit there that's wet is just gonna vanish. So how cool is that? So you can get the colour lifter on its own as well. And then he's all gone. So how cute is he? I love him. And I don't normally, first of all, I don't normally do colouring in. If you come to one of my classes, there's very few classes with colouring in, but I'm getting a little bit more confident now. But I think he's quite cute. So you can see under there that little shadow, but it's not a straight line. You can see under those, I mean, it's look, it's very subtle, but it's just a bit of shading. Would it matter if you coloured him in all in one colour and just left him as like the light crumb cake? No, I don't think so. But I always have this little wish that I could colour like everybody else. So they're my kind of tips of how to use Stampin' Blends and what's sort of available. But I think he's cute. I do think he's cute. So how do we make him into a card? So it's all a very quick kind of Blue Peter here. So here's our card. So a couple of things that you should know about me. The stitched shapes Framelit dies are one of my favourite sets of dies. I use them on nearly everything. I mean, how useful is that set? It gives you a cut-out image, and let's see if I can show you that, with that stitched detailing round. Can you see that? So every one of these, so there's 4 ovals in layering sizes. Oh, 4 ovals, 4 circles, and 4 squares. all the time. All the time I use those. So if you fancy those, there'll be a link below this video when I've finished. So, but we weren't happy with those. We didn't always want a square. Sometimes we wanted a rectangle. And some really clever people did work out how to use and change the squares into rectangles. But you know what? Rectangle dies. Far easier. And look at how many are in there. So you've got the rectangle stitch Framelit dies as well. So if you're looking at that going, well, what are they? I have no idea. So these are, they're called dies. They cut out bits of paper. And literally you put the die on top of a piece of card. So let's have a quick, here's one we made earlier kind of thing. So you'd have your bit of card and you go, right, I want a white rectangle that size, and you put it through a die cutting machine. Now, I don't know if I can, I'm probably going to grab mine. Oh. So the majority, I'm going to put it on there, I'm going to ruin things, aren't I? The majority of crafters that I know, probably a good 80 to 90% of them, will have something like this called a big shot machine. And this big shot is a heavy piece of equipment that should last you a lifetime pretty much. Look at it, filthy dirty. And all it is a great big roller, weighted roller in there. And you use these platforms, depending on what you're cutting and what the thickness is, to kind of raise what you're cutting, raise and lower as it goes through. And you use it like an old mangle. You go like that and something goes through. And you can cut things, or you can what we call emboss things. But I think that's for a whole another video. So die cutting and embossing, but today we are just die cutting. So for die cutting you need dies, which are these, and a die cutting machine. So let's put those to one side. So here's the lovely card. We're going to make super simple, but lots of die cutting. So first of all, I'm going to take an A5 piece of balmy blue card, just fold it in half. Now I don't score my cards, I just fold, but I always use a bone folder. It makes a more precise fold. Yes, you can use your fingernail if you want to, if you want blue dye over your fingers, or if you want your nail varnish on your card. But it just creates a good strong fold. So bone folder is one of those always have to have bits of kit. But again, once you've got it for life. So I did start off with this card trying to make it that way, but realised that my greetings wouldn't fit on. So the next thing I did was I cut with the sort of die cut to give it its proper way. I got a piece of crumb cake card. I got that die, which is the third largest of that set there, or third largest of those anyway. And I ran that through my big shot machine, and out it came and gave me a piece of card like that. So the next thing I wanted to do was get my piece of pattern paper. Now this is part of the Gingham Gala pattern paper. It's a 6x6 set in 5 colours. You've got Lemon Lime Twist, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, Balmy Blue, and Daffodil Delight. Whew. And in fact, oh, I did have one to hand. Somewhere so safe now, it's back in the storage. It has a large gingham and a small gingham, so it's entirely up to you what you want to use. But I measured that, and I want to say off the top of my head it's 4. Look, don't even need to do it. I've got inches this side, so 1.5 by 3 inches, pretty much, whatever that is in centimetres. So, and if you want to cut it smaller, so you still have the edging, you can just cut it a bit smaller. Bit of Tombow glue I use there. Gives me a bit of wiggle room, you see. So put it on there. Oh, look, we're almost just there. So I've got a very small border. There we go. So that's him. Then, once I'd coloured my little Peter Rabbit, I die cut. So two ways of doing it. I would normally always say to you, stamp, then die cut. But when you're doing something that's a sort of simple shape like this, you can die cut and then stamp. But as a rule of thumb, always stamp first and then die cut afterwards. So he is flat. So again, you can see on there that he's come through. but he is flat. And again, entirely up to you which bits you put flat, which bits you add dimension to. Just remember that when you're posting it, it costs more the wider you make the card. As soon as it doesn't go through that little gap, it becomes a large letter and gets more expensive. Ask me how I know that. So, a few dimensions, or dimensionals, to give them their proper name. So this is just foam tape that's double-sided, and it just gives a little lift, so it means that the card isn't flat. So, and it's up to you how much white sort of space you want to leave. I have to say there was a part of me that wanted to stamp the background in balmy blue, so it was like tone on tone stamping. There was part of me that wanted to add some texture with an embossing folder on this bit, but I wanted to keep it simple. So there we go. So when you're matching it, making sure that these are the same and those are the same, and you're as straight as you can. I kind of put it on my grid paper to make sure the base is straight. I think that'll do. He's cute like that. Then I die cut on my stitch shape Framelit dies. I use this super small one here and this one here, so that one's cut that piece out. Here's one I made earlier. So I'm just using the same Memento black. So the only ink pad that I've used on here is this Memento black. It's a great all-round black. There we go. And then I put that die over my greeting and ran it through my Big Shot machine to cut it out. So I have to say I did try a couple of times, and I die cut out a few of these and tried to get my greeting straight. Nah, wasn't going to happen. Stamp first, die cut second. Keep to that rule, you can't go wrong. Same for punching. If you're punching something out, stamp it first and then punch it out. So put a little dimension on here and stick that centrally to that. So you can use a couple of things. So these are the stitched dies. I actually realised when I made this, I didn't use a stitched die, I used the layering ovals die. So you can do that as well. And I think because I was getting a little bit dimensioned, this went on flat. And again, it's up to you where you want to put it. Do you want to centralise it? Do you want to put it down the bottom, up the top? Do you want to overlap it here? It's wherever you want, really. You might centralise that one a bit more. Oh, forgot it wasn't on dimensions. And there, that's it. How cute is that? Quick and easy as well. If you've got a die cutting machine, you cut these bits out, it is real whiz, and you can turn out a lot of these in no time at all. And that's it. I'm going to kind of leave you there. I can't believe I've been 3/4 an hour. My whole aim was to not make this so long. So what have I got comment-wise? So, oh goodness me. So Mary's first time watching. Janet says hello. Nesma says first time watching. How are you all finding me? Miss all these first time watchers. Patricia says hello. Sarah loves my storage system. Thank you. In fact, let's bring it back to me. So yes, oh, every time. So that took many years of waiting. We actually had this extension built so that I could have my craft room. It's our dining room table as well, but I actually run classes here as well. So if you're new to Crawley, which is 5 minutes from Gatwick, then come along. I run classes from home. Look at me, I've gone all red. It's all a bit hot with these lights on. But yeah, so this over here is an IKEA Kallax unit. And the storage inside are actually individual boxes made from a company called Creations by Rod. But I have got a video, again, if you're on my YouTube channel, or again, perhaps I'll link it below, you can see my craft room tour as I do it. Because I love a craft room tour. I love to see what people have got where and what they've got. So we're still not completely finished. I've been in here for about 4 or 5 months now. And I've still got little bits that I'd like to do, but there we go. Hello, Jackie. Nesma says adorable. It is so cute, isn't it, that card? So what else do I need to say? There's not an awful lot actually. If you've got any questions, then just tag me if you're on Facebook. If you don't subscribe to my Facebook channel, which is a few of you as first time watchers probably don't, then if you do like my page, then Facebook will tell you when I go live next week. I mean, I go live Wednesdays at 12, but it's always good to have Facebook to remind you. If you're watching this on YouTube and again, you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, then I do upload these videos. And as I said at the beginning of this live, I will be putting more YouTube videos up under pressure because I'm sitting there going, I'm going to do one Monday and I haven't made anything yet. Plenty of time. Yes, if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, then click subscribe, and YouTube will also let you know when I upload a video there, so you don't miss out there as well. If you've got any questions, then feel free, please, to just message me if you're on Facebook, or leave a comment underneath the YouTube video. As I said, if you want to shop from me, here's the link again. There I am. www.natalieoshea.stampinup.net. Everything coordinates. If you haven't seen me before and you didn't realise, the reason why, so that, look at that Stampin' Blend blue matching against that cardstock and that pattern paper. The whole thing with Stampin' Up is that everything coordinates. Gone are the days, I've just thought he's a little bit wonky, isn't he? He's got a bit skew whiff. There you go. The whole thing with Stampin' Up is that you coordinate. Gone are the days where you're sitting there spending 5 hours like I used to, getting out nearly everything in your craft room that you think might match. Not anymore. You pick out a piece of pattern paper and you go, right, I need balmy blue cardstock. If I'm going to colour, I need some balmy blue there. If I'm going to use crumb cake, then it's going to coordinate with his colour as well. So easy, super, super easy. I wish they had been around 22 years in this country when I started. They've actually been going 30 years now. And we celebrated Stampin' Up's 30th birthday last year, in fact. So this is year 31, but year 11 here in Europe. So, right, I'm going to leave it there. Don't forget to, leave a comment. Let's say, comment to win these watercolour pencils. So same principles, the blending sort of techniques and the light and shade work with the watercolour pencils. And as I say, these blend really easily. So if you colour with these first, you can leave them as that is, so if you like a watercolour pencil effect, or you can get one of our blender pens or aqua painters and go over the top and blend it that way. So same principles work, and again with your shading, with that sun or not sun, then that's it. But yeah, leave a comment and you could win one of those. If you want to share it as well, if you think anyone's interested in looking at these cards or learning about alcohol blends, or just might be interested in passing the time of the day with me, then please, please, please share it. Share this video as well. Right, I'm going to love and leave you. Don't think there's any questions. I want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget where you can shop if you want to. So if you like those Fable Friends or anything like that, as I say, once this video finishes, I will add all the links there. Apart from that, I think that's it. I look forward to coming to you next week, which I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I think I'm doing Geared Up Garage, but don't quote me on that. But there you go. Right. Thanks very much, ladies, for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday or Monday on the blog, www.natalieoshea.co.uk/blog. And if you don't sign up for my weekly newsletter, where I send out a free tutorial every week, then do that as well, because you'll get another tutorial for Diagonal Box. It's just tutorial, showing you lots to do. That's it. I'm going to leave you be. Bye. Have a good afternoon.